Every opportunity that is there for sex education to be taught to these kids, they should just bring it. On in the streets, in the church, in the school, at home, everywhere.
If sex education is being taught in schools, it will teach a girl. You see, let me ask you a question. Let me tell you something. If I'm a biological teacher and I ask my students, mention the parts of your body, tell me the parts of your body. Any student that mention the word penis or vagina will get my highest mark.
And most times, you see, parents, they don't really have time to want to educate their children about some certain things because most times they go hustling. When is that time to start talking?
No. I don't think it's right for it to be left to the parents alone, because the truth is that everybody has different ways they can pass information. And it's possible that you can be passing information to a person and you're not getting it the way you want them to. So I think every opportunity that is there for sex education to be taught to these kids, they should just bring it. On in the streets, in the church, in the school, at home, everywhere.
I feel schools should teach sex education because you see, most children, they get to learn in the midst of people when they are not alone. So if in a class, maybe a teacher start talking about sex education, they will flow better, they will flow more than when their parents talk to them about it. And most times, you see, parents, they don't really have time to want to educate their children about some certain things because most times they go hustling. When is that time to start talking?
Yes, schools should be teaching sex education because it is not enough for parents to teach that alone. Because presently, with this internet, with the internet now all over the world, sex education has become very much important in every teachings, whether schools, church, wherever you are, not just with parents alone. Because when children go online nowadays, with whatever site, whatever application you're opening, you tend to see adverts on pornography here and there. So if a child is not well tutored, when they begin to see those things and they start asking questions and they're asking questions in the wrong places, you'll find out that they might be misled either by peers or friends or even some adults who don't know themselves might begin to take advantage of them.
Sex education is something that I think we should take seriously, because it's the wrong information that is making these teenagers mess up. You see a small child of 14, 15 is already a single mother. I think the truth is that we should emphasize on sex education like it's actually something very serious. So I don't think it should be taken for granted. Not just parents alone, it should be taught everywhere.
Yes, school are meant to teach us. When I was in primary school, they used to teach us how to use pad. When I was in primary 4, they started teaching us how to use pad. Then it was always they would teach us this is how you do it. And because when I was growing up, I found out that my mom used to use clothes to do their menstruation. I was like, God forbid, this one will be giving us infection now. But in school, they started teaching us, okay, these are what you do if you want to have sex with men. You are supposed to protect yourself because of STD, because of this, because of that. So I think it's good for the school to teach the kids sex education.
It would be good if both churches, schools, and these social, social groups, if they can start teaching sex education, to children, wherever they find children having a gathering or being educated. Sex education is important to be taught anywhere, everywhere, not just with parents alone, not even schools alone. That's my point.
Parents now, it's depending on how you communicate with your child. Do you understand? That will make your child feel free enough to tell you what is or her is what they are going through. Do you get? Like me now, I am a very I'm not I don't act like a parent to my kids. I act like we're just age mates, which makes my kids find it so easy to communicate with me. Mommy, something happened in school today. Oh, mommy, this place is paining me. Mommy, and I learned it from my dad because my mom does not care about children. She just wants to have kids, but my dad is the mother of the house. To the extent of when I started seeing my period, it was my dad I went to meet instead of my mom.
Yes, school should teach sex education because sex education is very, very important. When it comes to that sex education in school, it's supposed to be a very good thing, because if you don't teach, in schools, if they don't teach what is called sex education, so and they decide to leave it to the parents, some of these parents, some of them are shy. There are some certain things they don't want to open up to they wouldn't want to open up to their child. I don't know, maybe it's because they don't know how to put it right, but the teacher in school should be able to tell them.
So schools should do that. And again, schools too is for a child is a foundation where a child can grow. It's like a foundation. A child comes to school to learn. So that should be included. Sex education. Let them know what it's all about. It's like in biology now. We talk about reproduction, talking about how a man sleeps with a woman. But in our time, they don't just say a man has to sleep, put this and into that to get this. No. There's a way they just say when you touch and touch. But now I feel schools should be specific. They should go deep. Let children really know what sex. They should really educate children about sex. Children should know what sex is all about.
Perfectly. Perfectly. It's what you know is what you are. It's what you see is also what you are. What you hear is what you are. It is wrong. You see, I used to have a very good friend who said if he doesn't wear jeans at the age of 20 or 25, is it when he's 60 or 80? So if you don't teach children or students sex education right from even primary school, if possible, or let's not be too anxious about, let us not exaggerate it. Maybe at the age of 18 or 16, it is what you know that is bad that you will know how to avoid. It is what you know that is good that you will know how to go for.
So communication is very, very important between parents. And for parents that thinks I can't play too much with my kids because I want them to know I am a mother, or I'm his father. So it is advisable for schools to let them understand more about it. Since you that are the parent, you're not ready to communicate with your child.
When a female get into a stage of maturity, you should know that a teacher should come up and begin to teach them. Like for example, I was a teacher. I teach what they call it. I teach biology and I teach this basic science. Basic science. They call it basic science now in some of our schools. When it comes to the area of this topic, when it comes to female genital and male genital, we begin to teach them within so time, if you experience this and this and this, you should understand that if you come in contact with any opposite sex, so thing and so thing might come into play. Then at so age, you should be experience this. At so age, you should be experience this. At so age, these are some of the things that come into play. This and this and this. By so doing, they will be getting to know. So at home, the mother the mother should pick up the other parts. Not even only the mother, even the father. So the father to have a role to play, when it comes to that. Bringing your children together. There's nothing bad if a father and a father should call even the female child, tell her this and this and this and this. These are some of the things you experience. You try to explain to the girl child, because I got to understand that most female child get more closer to their father. So the father should be able to input some of those things bit by bit, but the major part of it, the mother should take part of it.
So if sex education is being taught in schools, it will teach a girl. You see, let me ask you a question. Let me tell you something. If I'm a biological teacher and I ask my students, mention the parts of your body, mention to me, tell me the parts of your body. Any student that mention the word penis or vagina will get my highest mark. But because we have failed to say the right thing at the right time, people are shying away from reality. If you don't tell a child what is penis, how will she or he know what to do with penis? If you don't teach a girl what is vagina, how will she or he know what he can do with vagina? It is absolutely necessary. For me, it is compulsory that sex education should be taught in schools for them to know what to do and what not to do. And that is the best way to go.